Are you working with someone you can't stand? We've all been there. Working with people I want to punch in the throat has been called relatable and laugh out loud hilarious. Read the stories about all the crazy people Jen Mann has worked with over the years. Find out who she wants to punch in the throat. Working with people I want to punch in the throat is now available everywhere books are sold.
We did it.
Gosh.
Wow. Okay. So those of you who listen to the podcast, who Jen and I are not recording live. We are recording using Be Live TV app. So it's recording the video and the audio, and so we're going to put the audio up on Podbean as soon as it's done, as soon as we get it edited. So probably tonight, and then the video will be able to go to YouTube. And yeah.
Well, because we have to do this because of social distancing.
Yeah. I don't want you anywhere near me.
No, you don't. Because you don't. I could be a bomb waiting to go off. You'd have no idea. I mean, this has been kind of crazy, this whole thing. But so I thought we still had some shows in the can.
Yeah, that was my fault. Okay, so for those of you, if somebody's listening to this like years from now,
yeah, we should probably explain what this
is hit the United States, and so we're in the throes of social isolation, which has like progressed from varying states of don't be in groups larger than 1,000 to then it was like 100, and then it's 50, and now it's 20, and schools are closed. Like Kansas just announced that they're closed until the rest of the year.
Yeah. I live over on the Kansas side, and yeah, our governor shut all the schools, all the physical schools. I think there will still be online learning, but we haven't heard anything further about that. But my kids were kind of prepared for online learning before we even went on spring. We're on spring break right now.
The school warned them that was probably going to happen.
Yeah, they were told to take everything home with them that they would need if we had to move to online learning. And
so, did the school issue like computers or anything?
Yeah, both my kids have school issued laptops.
Okay, because see, Blue Springs does not do that.
Mm.
And so, but my other two children go to a private school, and they've been really on top of this. Like they had a plan in place before it even they shut them down. So, yeah. And they're gonna have like school throughout the day, and they will check into their class. Like they'll have to get up and go to school online. It's going to be like real online school, and they'll have to like check into the beginning of their class at Google Meetings, and the teacher will, so
I think ours is going to be something similar. I really don't know. I mean, they already get all their assignments and turn in their assignments online already.
Yeah.
And so
do that too, like Google Documents. I think they're going to Word next year, but yeah, right now they use Google. But
yeah,
like Blue Springs School District, where my middle schooler goes, they are just now coming up with a plan. Like my daughter, they had packets they put together for the elementary school, and they're going to do online school for the middle school and high school. But I don't know how that's going to work. So, but like my middle schooler does do online assignments. But I don't know, like, if they didn't have a plan in place before they let out spring break.
I mean, I think from what I understand, there's a plan. We just don't know the plan just yet, but there has been a plan, and I'm not too worried. I feel like, I mean, at this point, honestly, they were supposed to go back early next week. Half their classmates have been gone on spring break somewhere, and nobody was going to kind of like quarantine themselves or anything probably. And I was going to be a nervous wreck anyway, sending them back. So to me, I mean, it stunned me last night. It threw me for a loop.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
And I was sort of like, oh, okay. Yeah, but like after kind of, not sleeping and staying up all night, sort of, panic buying, everything that I might need, I was like, okay, we can do this. Like, I think that, I think our governor made a good decision, and I stand with her, and I understand why she did it, and I get it. And I've been quarantined since probably Thursday, I guess. Like I really haven't gone out except to get groceries and stuff. And I've just really been trying to stay away because I do believe in the whole flattening the curve thing. Yeah. And so if this will help, I still have a grandma. I have a grandma who's 95 who's on lockdown right now in her facility where she lives. And
Yeah.
if this will help protect her because my kids might get her sick, like
Yeah.
I'm all for it. So
No,
I'm good now. But last night I was a little bit of a wreck when the word first came down. I thought,
yeah,
oh shit. So yeah, so we're out till summerish, and I don't even know. Like I kind of prepped my kids last night too. That like I don't know if summer camps are going to happen.
probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so. So they're pretty sad about sports. They're not really sad about not having to go to school, but
Well, what's really funny is my junior in high school, my just turned 17-year-old, she has been begging me for 2 years to let her do online high school. And
yeah.
I'm like, okay, we don't have that here. Like, that's not an offer in Missouri, and I'm not gonna like find one. Like, I'm no. And
Mhm.
so I'm like, now that she actually gets to do online high school, she's like, what? I don't want to do it. I'm like, girl, you've been telling me for 2 years you want to do this. She goes, but I didn't think we'd actually have to like go to school.
Yes, that was my daughter last night because my son took it all in stride. He's a freshman and he was like, okay, whatever. He was a little disappointed, but his life is online. He games, he talks to his friends online. Like he hasn't seen a real person in months anyway. Like, so he was sort of like, okay, whatever. And but my daughter, she's very social and she was very panicked. And I said to her, you've been begging me like every Monday she doesn't feel well. Every Monday she's sick, every Monday she's like, I don't think I can go to school today. And so I was like, this is it. You can do your work in your jammies. Like you can, stay home all day. This is exactly what you wanted. And she was like, yeah, but now that we've actually done it, it really kind of sucks.
I know, right? Well, and like we're pretty much homebodies, so like we will sometimes spend the whole weekend at home and not leave or just go to like the store like once. So
Yeah.
the kids' last day of school was Friday, and I actually went out to lunch with my son because we knew we were getting ready to like go into hiding, and so we spent all day home on Saturday. So in the morning, my oldest son, who doesn't live with us, FaceTimed my daughter, and we had a conversation. And then last night at night, about 7:30, she's like, remember when Trace FaceTimed us yesterday? She's like, oh wait, that was this morning. She goes, this is the longest day ever.
That's the problem, I think.
We often stay home. So, but I'm losing track of the days. Like I was talking to a friend this before the podcast, and I was like, wait, what day is it? I think it's Wednesday.
Well, and I feel a little bit like Laura Ingalls Wilder. Like, I mean, like it gets dark, and I'm like, well, I guess it's bedtime. Like, I mean, I tried to go to bed the other night at like 7:30. I'm like, well, I'm out of stuff to do, so I guess I'll just, which has been nice. Like, I think I have caught up on all my sleep debt because I haven't set an alarm in the morning since Thursday or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I'll get it done at some point because we literally have nothing else on the calendar to do.
Oh, we have some comments. Okay.
Can you see them? Okay.
Yeah.
Who do we have?
Okay. So can you see them?
I can. Yeah.
Okay. So Courtney Dieterin says, hi, nice to feel like I'm being social.
Amen.
I know,
Yours
right?
too. And it's just tea still. I'm doing really good 2:00 and it's still just tea. So, but I will choke on it.
I'm about to text my daughter and ask her to make me a cup of tea.
Well, I went and did it first and I yelled at everyone to be quiet. I'm like, shut up.
Quiet. But I forgot to make my tea. Okay. So Angela Page says, our district did a remote learning exercise last week in preparation for this. I'm in Ohio and we are out till April 6th and sounds like it will be longer. Okay. Ohio has been on the ball.
Right?
Like they've like taken charge. The governor has taken charge and set the tone for what everybody else should be doing. I was super impressed with Ohio.
Well, we were kind of like, our governor, she took a little bit, but then she shut down like all bars and restaurants because I was really worried about the St. Patrick's Day. I was like, nobody's going to stay home for St. Patrick's Day. And so she shut all the bars and restaurants down before that. And then we'd been told April. And then all of a sudden last night it was like, nope, you're never coming back.
Blue Springs is out till April 6th, but then my kid's private school said April 12th. But I told them last night, I said, I sincerely doubt you guys are going back. And then like Blue Springs was really slow to close. And so I told them that if they didn't close, that I was keeping my middle schooler home, that I wasn't back to school. But I'm like, surely they're going to close. I mean,
I think so. I think more will follow suit.
Like the governor has done nothing.
Yeah.
The Missouri governor has done nothing for any of this. It's all been from the local level.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's been interesting to see who steps up and who doesn't, you know?
I know, right?
So nice to see you all, says Heather. It's good to see you too, Heather. Beaches are closed here in Florida. Are they though? Because today, so I originally saw they were closing the beaches, but then today I saw that like some cities can keep them open. Like it's up to the mayor or something because the governor said they have the discretion. Either way, close the fucking beaches. Oh, by the way, you need earbuds because I'm a cusser. If you're new to this, I was actually on like a group chat earlier because that's the one thing. One of the things we should talk about is like, what are you doing to like stay sane during this time? Because like you and I are someone who like we can go weeks without seeing people because we work from home.
Right.
We don't. Our kids are not like really into a lot of stuff or whatever that we're running around all the time, and so it's like we're night owls. We work on deadlines, and so a lot of people though. I have a lot of extroverted friends who. You know, they're just like, I have three events this week. And I'm like, I have 3 events this year to go to.
I know, right?
And so they're like freaking out. And so earlier today we did this, like kind of like a group hangout with some of my friends. And one girl's still at work. And I was talking about vibrators because that's what I do. And she was like, oh God. She's like, I got earbuds. She's like, mute. So yeah, so by the way, if you're new to this and you haven't seen this before, hi, I'm Jen and I use the F-bomb like a comma. So welcome. But I do think they should close the F and beaches. And then just saying. We're the governor.
That's true. Like our listeners know that we can drop the F-bomb, but yeah, this is our first live on Facebook, so good warning.
So, yeah, like we don't like bleep it out of our podcast or anything, but I do feel like everyone's got kids home now, so earbuds, folks.
Yeah. So, okay, you're coming through a little fuzzy.
Am I? I don't know. My internet is probably being taxed right now between the gaming and the Netflixing.
Well, okay, that's a legit concern for me when my kids start homeschool learning because, hello, I'm on the internet. Like, I'm scared. Like, if they're all streaming their classes and I'm trying to be on the internet,
yeah. See, like this, I'm on my
anymore. So yeah.
Well, I'm on my laptop right now. My laptop is Wi-Fi, but I do have I have like a desktop here beside me that is like hardwired in, and so that wouldn't.
Is anybody else having trouble listening, like with Jen's voice, or is it just me?
Oh no, my whole voice is sucking. That sucks.
Yeah, you're kind of vibrating.
All right, let me fix it if I can. All right, what else are you doing, Denise, to stay sane?
Well, I just finally cracked the alcohol last night. I'd been alcohol free until last night. But my son doesn't live with me. He's working from home. So he works for Sprint. They sent them all home. I told them not to come back indefinitely. And like they have part-time temporary workers and they gave them all laptops. Because they don't give the temporary people that they like hire. They gave them all laptops and told them not to come home either. So but he stayed home. He's been around no one. So we felt safe inviting him over. And so he came over and we grilled steaks and made mashed potatoes. And it was almost like a last supper because I only have one bag of potatoes left. And we love mashed potatoes. So we have no idea when we'll get like potatoes again. I feel like we're like in one of those blizzards, like the old fashioned people. Like, oh man, remember the spring of 2020 when we couldn't have potatoes for like 2 weeks.
Well, I went with my daughter when we asked her like what we need from the grocery store. She's like, frozen pineapple, the good kind.
The good kind.
I'm like, bitch, you get whatever they have.
I know, right?
They have frozen bananas. Enjoy.
I remember. I think the last time I went to the grocery store was Thursday, and that was like my third like stock up trip, and I had only gone to buy a couple of things, and I ended up buying a bunch more because I was like, by that point, I'd been hearing that this could last 6 weeks. So at first, I was told stock up for 3 weeks, then it was 4 or 5, and then it was 6 to 8. So, I ended up leaving. I ended up breaking my social isolation on Monday because I'd ordered a side of beef last fall and it just so happened to be done. So yeah, so I went to go get it on Monday and I went by myself and but I stopped and it was like in this town in like the middle of Missouri, like Podunk, Missouri. And but I had to stop and go to the bathroom. So I stopped in this town. I'm not going to say the name of the town, but I stepped into this Missouri town and in McDonald's thinking it was safe, right? That's probably a safe place to go. And so, oh, we're getting a whole bunch of comments now. They were like stuck.
Yeah.
They're like pouring in.
Yes.
And so they're like, these people obviously had heard no idea that there was a social isolation thing going on, because there were like multiple groups of people hanging around, just, you know, having coffee and having breakfast. And so I'm like, okay, well, yeah. So,
Okay. So Nicole says, I sound like a robot.
Okay, it's not me then.
And I should take my ear thing out. But if I take it out, then I think, okay, is that better? Because then sometimes it like, that's not better?
No.
Yeah, because sometimes it like, echoes or whatever. I have a microphone. Hold on. We're going to get really like technical here. But, can you tell me what you're doing?
Is this what I
can't talk?
Put a song and entertain people while you're?
What'd you say?
Is this what I break into a song and entertain the masses while you like? Nobody wants that. Trust me. But my children are making fun of me because like I've been like the whole like we have to socially isolate. My oldest daughter was like, "What? You mean I can't go see my friends?" And I'm like, "No, you cannot go see your friends. I said, if you want to go stay with them and be with them, that's fine." And then she was like, "But you're the one with all the food." I'm like, "Okay, well, you got to make the choice. Do you want to be with your friends or you want to be with food?" So I'm like, FaceTime. So anyway, I had contact with 2 people. I stayed away from people at McDonald's, washed my hands, didn't touch nothing, and I found hand sanitizer that morning, so I hand sanitized myself. And then I had contact with the butcher when I paid for my order, and they put the meat in the car, and then that was pretty much it. So yeah, I still feel like I'm safe because apparently the people in Middle Missouri, they don't believe that COVID-19 is an issue. And schools were in session. Like I passed multiple schools where schools were in session. So yeah.
Sorry, I'm just figuring out what cord this is that goes to my better microphone.
Comments and see if there's anything we should.
Yeah, because I'm gonna try to do this and fix this. Yeah, that's my camera. I can't unplug that.
Heather Perry Baxter says they decided all testing for kids is canceled this year. Yeah, because we have our Missouri. It's called MAP testing. I'm not sure, and it's supposed to take place in April. So obviously that is not gonna happen. So,
Is this better? Do I sound like a robot now?
A little better.
Oh, just a little better.
Well, actually, a lot better. You still sound a little bit like a robot, but yeah.
I think that's just my normal voice now.
Oh, Heather says that's real concern. I told my kids they have to get off the internet when I'm teaching online. Yeah, except for my kids will be learning online. So I think that means my internet access is lower priority.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I could always use a hotspot on my phone if I have to, but yeah. I use it like we don't realize how much we use internet until you have to think about having it. All right. Okay. All right. Talk now.
Okay, let me try this now.
It's a little better.
Gosh, I don't know what, because this is like my good one too. This is like my good microphone. Like this is the one I use like for when I dictate and stuff. But it sounds great in my ear. But
you play it back.
Jen speed sounds robotic and fuzzy. I know this one's gonna suck, you guys. I'm sorry, but I can't really figure this out. My IT department is elsewhere. And
well, like sign out and sign back in because you're hosting, so that will just end it.
I could do that. Okay, let's try that. I'm gonna sign out.
Work because you're hosting, so I think it ends it.
Oh, and then everybody's gone.
And then
I'll just won't talk. You just keep talking.
That will not work.
Okay, so everyone else should talk. So tell us what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So like my kids are watching lots of Netflix. We bought a bunch of Legos. So because my older kids like Legos. So everybody got a Lego set, and the rule was they built their own Lego set. They could enjoy it for that day. And then they had to tear it apart and then pass it to the next person. So that person could build the Legos. So That's one thing they've done. They also bought a jigsaw puzzle they haven't started yet, and they're super excited because Animal Crossing is coming out on Friday. So
what's that?
Some game on some game system that I'm terrible. It's one that we have that's got Mario Kart. I don't know what game system that is. We couldn't find it for a while, and then they found it. And so this was a big discussion last night, was whether they were going to buy it online, which their older brother suggested they don't do because of space issues on the game system. But if we didn't order it online, then they wouldn't get here in time on Friday for them to play it. So that was unacceptable in their eyes. So yeah.
Alright, I'm trying this again. Oh, my audio standards. Yeah, I want the Yeti. Default speaker Yeti.
The hard part for me is like I'm still working. Like I'm working all the time, and they don't they grasp that, but they feel like, I mean, I partially kind of wish, I'm a little jealous. Like I wish that I had a job that I couldn't do at home right now. So I could just chill and watch Netflix all day long and read and hang out. But
can you focus? Like I can't focus on what I want to write right now.
it is really, really hard to focus. Yeah, I'm behind on my book. So I have a book that I'm working on for my readers that are listening or watching. My daughter's making my tea. She asked me. Yeah, it's like it's a Rose Gardner book. It comes out in April. I'm still writing it. It's supposed to go to the editor next week, and I'm not even going to say what shape it is in right now. And then I had a release last week, which is always distracting. But then I had several negative comments, and I don't know how you handle negative comments, but sometimes if I'm in a bad place, it like messes with my head big time. And so it messed with my head big time. So I've made very little progress in like probably 3 days, like not even 2,000 words in 3 days, which is not good. So, yeah, but I made a breakthrough last night. So, yeah, I'm doing better, but yeah, but it's in general, it's just hard to focus because I'm like watching Facebook and watching, the news, my news thing come on my phone to see what's going on now because, for some reason, I feel like if I don't get that news when it comes through, I'm going to miss out. But then again, to be fair, there's so much stuff coming through, like at rapid speed, I might miss like a step of the isolation. I might have missed that we went from 100 people could be together to 20. I might have missed that 50. So
are we even down to 10 now?
Yeah, I saw a meme that someone, and I don't know if this is true or not. Somebody said in Australia they can't have gatherings of 5 or more, so that 6 kids got to get out of there, or that the 4th kid's got to get out of there.
It's crazy, that's for sure. I can't get any, and if I'm not, like, I don't know, like, I can get anything, I can't focus on what I want to write about, I can't be funny, I can't.
No, that's the hard part. Like, I'm also writing at the same time, I'm co-writing a rom-com, and I'm having a really hard time being funny, so.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be funny because I feel like that is what I'm supposed to do, and so I'm really trying, but I feel like Facebook gets, like, all my funny, like, the book gets nothing. And so I keep reading the book, and I'm like, God, like, lighten it up, man.
But, I know. So how's it coming? Because last time we talked, you had a bunch of chapters, and you were kind of finally figuring out how you were going to put them together.
Yeah, and I think I have, although now I've started, the quarantine chapter, because I think there's going to be...
Yeah.
I feel like, look, that's what's on my mind. I might as well write about that. Like, it's obviously going to be a big part of sort of what I'm going to go through here this year. So, and so that's flowing really well. And not funny, but it's flowing.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think it's more just, I'm at the editing stage, and that's where you have to really focus and concentrate. Like, I'm not, when you're writing the first draft, you can just throw all the shit at it. Right. But now I'm like, okay, I really got to make this like better. That's hard.
And that's it's so weird because I feel like right now I can't even write. Like, I'm trying to write, and it's like a bunch of like stupid sentences. Like, She went to the store. She got in the truck. I'm like, "Oh my god, what happened to my brain? Why can I not, like, write anymore?" So, I have to give my head permission to just write shit and
Mhm.
then tell myself I'll clean it up later, but my head does not obey that very well.
Well,
So,
and I'm in the cleanup phase, and so it's tougher too for me. And I just think too, like, but then I also think we should just give ourselves permission to just like wallow in this for a little bit, like just
yeah.
sort of, if you need to take a break, I mean, like last night my daughter was sort of going off the rails, and she's a little dramatic. She's a little bit like her mom, and my husband just couldn't deal with it, and I was like, just let her vent, like let her, nothing can change. We can't fix anything, but if it makes her feel better to just
Right.
rage right now, let her rage, and we'll fix it tomorrow. She'll calm
Yeah.
down tomorrow, and so
Oh,
we're
we're
just.
getting a bunch of comments coming through now.
Oh, good. Yeah, they keep slowing down, don't they?
I know, they, like, get stuck and then they come through.
All about my robot voice. I get it.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
yeah, no, my daughter who's doing student teaching right now, she doesn't know what's gonna happen. Like, she's interviewed for a job with a couple of school districts. So she doesn't know, will she have a job next year? Are they even gonna have school next year? Um, what happens with her student teaching with online, with the elementary school? They're not doing online with them, they're doing like packets. So like what's her role in that? She's supposed to graduate with her master's this year. She doesn't, obviously they're probably not gonna have graduation, but she's supposed to present her dissertation. How's that gonna work? She hasn't even finished her research for it because she's in the middle of it. Like she had, till the end of April to like get that done. So yeah,
Yeah.
she doesn't know what's going on. But she did graduate from college last year and she's been working on her master's while she was doing her bachelor's. So that's how she got her master's in 1 year. But so the graduation's not such a big deal, but there's so much unknown. Like she just doesn't
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen. So
Hey, you have a comment here that says, I saw all the comments about the negative comments, but I didn't see the actual negative comments. I'm so sorry. Please don't let the haters get to you. And then Audrey says, that was from Heather. Then Audrey says, there was lots of love and support for the new book, Denise. Try not to let the teeny minority of bad comments dishearten you. The messages of support were thick and fast.
oh, thank you guys. Because and then I feel guilty. Like, because this is how my head works. So I'm like, it was a few people. There are a lot of people who love my book. So I don't. And then I feel guilty that I like let those people get to me. But
It's really hard because it's like as writers, it's like you put yourself out there, and people, everybody has an opinion,
oh,
and
well,
you
and
know
some people just don't like books. I don't like books that people like in movies, and that's fine.
right.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and people give me like I don't read reviews very much after the book comes out, and because people are entitled to their opinion, and but don't put it in my own group.
But I was just gonna say that, like, it's one thing to put it on Amazon or something like that. If you want to leave me a bad review, fine, but
Yeah,
don't come in
yeah,
my
yeah,
group.
no,
Like, that is my house.
yeah, and like I'm not going to try to change their mind, and I'm not going to tell them they're wrong because it's their opinion. But yeah,
Yeah.
just don't
And
throw
then
it.
you can't. And then as a writer, you have to focus on your people, not worry about what everybody else is talking about.
Exactly. So, but it's funny because I have a lot of people asking me to release Rose early, and I'm like,
You can't handle her.
it's not even done. And some of it's very badly written.
Oh dear.
So, okay, so let's talk more about COVID-19. Okay, so when did you first start realizing it was going to be an issue?
December.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah,
I'm on Twitter a lot. I don't do a lot on Twitter except yell at our president, but I'm on Twitter a lot, and I could just see I could see that people were talking about it. Definitely, it was still a lot of like rumors and stuff, and we weren't sure what was going on. But I am like I just go down rabbit holes and I read all this stuff, and so I
yeah,
just started reading stuff that doctors were posting and things, and I just thought, I think this is. I think
yeah,
there's no way you can stop this, like
right.
it's not
Yeah,
going to happen.
yeah,
And
I
so
did.
that's when I started like not stockpiling, that sounds bad, but like just getting prepared, like ordering some things and putting it aside that I knew we would need at this point and that kind of thing. Like we have hand sanitizer because I bought a hand sanitizer, I buy 17,000 of them, but I bought one.
Right. You're not now having a side business on eBay selling hand sanitizer for
Free
$20.
hand sanitizer with the purchase of a book. I don't have that, but I mean, like things like that. Like I grabbed extra rolls of toilet paper when I was at the store, and I would grab an extra thing of, fried or not fried, but like frozen chicken or whatever. And so, because I just thought there was no way it could be contained.
Right.
How hard they tried.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I watched China, and then being an author, I'm friends with other people, other authors who write other genres. So I know a couple of guys who wrote pandemic books. And so they were saying, y'all, you need to pay attention to this. This is not gonna just pass over. So, and I hoped everybody was being an alarmist, but I'm like, at the same time, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be prepared for this. So,
well, and I think that's the other thing is like, I think like pandemic and dystopian are probably my favorite genres to read.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of like, I've been waiting for this moment all my life.
I know, right? It feels a little surreal though. So like the first few days it felt a little surreal, and now it's like the reality of it like really hitting home, and not just not for us because we're okay for now. Like economically, I work from home anyway, right? But my brother's wife is a substitute teacher, and because she didn't get a contract last year. Well, now she's getting no money because she's not working. And then like my oldest son has some friends who work in the food service industry, and they're just screwed. Like they have they can't go out and get a job because there are no jobs to get. So there's a lot of people that are hurting like really bad right now. And
I was going to say that's the really scary part. I'm hearing from so many of my readers who are they're just in really desperate situations right now.
Yeah.
And then not to mention people who are trapped in abusive homes. Like but there's a lot of women out there who are trapped in abusive homes. There's kids who aren't getting fed because they're not going to school. Like these are the things. Like I'm not as concerned about my own family. I'm really concerned about like what's happening outside my walls that I can't control, that I don't know exactly what to do to help, And so the only thing I know to do is stay home and try not to spread it. I mean, that's like, and like I don't, and I give money. I don't know what else to do though. Like I'm so like I feel very helpless in this situation.
I know, and I think a lot of people feel that way, and I think that's part of what's messing with my head and probably yours is because we want to help, but we don't know how to help people. Like we're fine. We're going to be fine no matter what, things have to be really, really bad for us to be like in big trouble. But there's a lot of people that are just already in trouble. This started, they're already in trouble. And I mean, I think we talked about like my 34 character personality trait. Number one is empathy for me. So it's really
hard for empaths right now. Like I'm not one, but I have many friends who are, and I've seen many taking a lot of breaks from social media and a lot of breaks from just, veg out, go watch Netflix, go read a book that's not pandemic. Read one of Denise's rom-coms, read People I Want to Punch in the Throat. But like
my box set's on sale for 99 cents. And I did that because I'm like, people need something light and funny. And so it's really hard to put things on perma-free and like in a speedy time. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to put it for 99 cents. And so because that's the only thing I know to do right now to give people something to like take their mind off of what's going on. So
and I just it's like, and I put up a message on my Facebook page this week saying that, or last week again, the days have all run together. But I just said something about that, I'm taking it seriously, but I'm also gonna like crack a lot of jokes, and that I just feel like it's important for us to laugh, and I feel like it's important for us, and even some dark humor, because again, that's how I cope. So there'll be some dark stuff, and there'll be some fun stuff, and some informative stuff. But that's basically where we are now. I'm just trying to entertain people. That is my job. I'm an entertainer. I'm a content creator, and that's what I'm trying to do right now is do that and keep people from going stir crazy at home.
Exactly. So I've been paying attention to like some of the risk factors. So like one of them turns out is they think that people who are A, their blood type is A, are more susceptible than O. I'm not real sure. I couldn't find any real credible sources on this, but I found that super interesting. Also, people with diabetes and high blood pressure and immunosuppressed, and heart conditions are also more susceptible to have to go into the severe
Yeah.
so yeah, a lot of people in midlife are starting to fall into that criteria, even though
Yeah.
that line of like where it gets really scary is 60 and up. But there was a guy, an attorney in New Orleans, who was 45 and perfectly healthy, and he was on a ventilator. Last I heard, he was on a ventilator. I think he may have died. So
Jeez.
yeah, just out of nowhere, they thought he had the flu, and yeah, so yeah, it's hitting. It's hitting. Like everybody's like, oh well, I'm healthy and I'm young and or relatively young, I'll be fine. But it's not. It's not just picking the older people. It's picking. It's also attacking younger people as well.
Well, can we talk about that for a minute? Have you had trouble like getting your parents to stay in?
Um, actually, no. Because
Good.
last Thursday, I'd been watching this, and I hadn't really been talking to my family about it too much because I didn't want them to think I was a conspiracy theorist.
If the shoe fits.
Yeah. So last Thursday, in a group family text, I'm like, okay, mom and dad, this is getting bad. You guys are going to have to stay home. Like starting this weekend, you guys are going to have to hole up in your house and not come out. And if you need anything, we'll get it for you. My dad's diabetic. He's 81. He's got lung issues, so he definitely doesn't need to be out. But he's also active. He's very active. He's in the Sons of the American Revolution. So, my mom was like, he's gonna go crazy. So I said, well, he can still walk, but he just has to stay away from people. Like you can go out and get some fresh air and walk, in the neighborhood, but just stay at least 6 feet away from people. So, so they say that they've been good. So I haven't gone and checked on them because we're trying to stay away. But my mom's going to the doctor tomorrow. So, and my older son was a little worried about that. He's like, well, should she be going to the doctor? And I'm like, well, it's her heart doctor. So probably maybe she should.
Yeah. No, my parents are just like, they finally took it seriously last night when the governor shut down schools.
Oh.
My mom was sort of like, oh, this is a big deal. And I'm like, yeah. Because I asked them to stay in this week. Starting Monday, I called them and I asked them to start staying in, that I was tired of seeing them out and about, doing stuff. And I was like, you're 70, And my mom was pretty whiny because that's just what she does. And she was pretty whiny. And she was like, but it's going to be my birthday. And it's a big one. And I'm going to miss my birthday.
Well, better to be alive and miss her birthday than be dead and miss her birthday.
And I was like, I'll take you to Chuck E. Cheese because you're being a toddler. And so then they stayed in. My dad was sort of poo-pooing it. And, we're healthy. But then last night they told me, my mom was like, I'm on medication for my eye problems that I have, and it suppresses my immune system.
Yeah.
And so she was like, well, what about you? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I've only been to the grocery store. And she's like, you can't do that anymore either. So I was like, I won't do it anymore. So today my husband thought maybe we needed something else. I don't know what he wanted to get. And I was like, well, I'm not going. And I'm staying home now because my immune system is not.
Do you even have anything? Because last time, like the stores were bare. Like the shelves are bare at the stores.
Yeah, I don't know what he's looking for. I think he's going to I think it's like sporting goods or something. Okay. In case we live outside or I don't know.
Because I did not anticipate that my children would bake. And so, I have flour, but not enough to last us for weeks.
So I'm completely out of flour. I went Monday to the grocery store, to Sam's Club, I guess is where I went to, and they only had 25-pound bags left.
I would not it.
And I thought, surely not. Like, I can't buy 25 pounds of flour. Like, we'll be eating that flour till I die, So I didn't buy it. I got home, and my daughter had baked and used up all the flour we had. And so yesterday we went back again looking for flour, and even the 25-pound bags are gone. Because I was like, okay, fine, I'll take 25 pounds. But she's baking. That is her form of therapy. Like, that's what makes her calm. Right?
Yeah, and it's also something to do. Like, I'm encouraging my children to bake because I want to eat baked goods. And it's keeping them busy, and so.
We're going to, roll out of quarantine. If the virus doesn't get me, heart disease will. Because, cookies.
I know.
Crazy. So I'm I'm trying to do better because I am a stress eater. So I am trying to do like be very conscious of that. And so because then it stresses me out. Then I'm like, well, what if I ate all the food and we have nothing left because I ate all the food because I was stressed?
I have a 14-year-old son. You have, yeah. I mean, boy, like he keeps eating, and I'm like, I'm not saying anything to him, but part of me's going, oh my God, we only have so much food.
I did put the kibosh on him last night when he went down for his second dinner. And I was like, hey, buddy, like, nobody's having second dinners anymore, okay? No more midnight snacks. I was like, no, just making a pizza. Like, that pizza needs to, like, feed a family of 4 now.
Right?
Oh.
Well, so like we don't eat a lot of casseroles because my oldest daughter doesn't like them, and she now. But I had some more chicken breast from this week. So on Sunday when I made enchiladas, and I cooked some noodles and made a chicken noodle casserole with cream of mushroom, cream of chicken soup and stuff. And she was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Okay, we have these leftover chicken breasts. I'm going to use them because we can't afford to waste food."
Like, we had chicken breast earlier this week, so we had chicken fried rice last night for dinner. And my kids are like, but what's it with? And I'm like, no, this is your meal.
It's the meal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get real creative real fast.
No, and like my children are gonna be like, it's a whole new world. Like we're eating pretty good right now, but I'm like, things are about to turn ugly in another couple weeks if we don't go to the grocery store because I got a whole bunch of pasta and jarred spaghetti set on the shelf.
I got a bunch of cream of mushroom soup, so I'm going to need that casserole recipe, please.
Super easy. I got you covered.
We're going to have a lot of casseroles, because my husband is Chinese, we do have 25 pounds of rice, always. That's just a
That's what I did, and I didn't. Like I was out of rice, so I only have like a couple of little bags. But I have a bigger bag of like nicer quality rice. So like usually I use the cheap stuff when we're just throwing it in casseroles and stuff.
Right.
So I'm like, y'all are about to start living high on the hog, just eating the jasmine rice with kale.
Like busting out like fancy jams we stole from hotels 3 years ago. I'm like, put this on your toast.
That's right.
We always joke that we could like go through our pantry and like live off everything in our pantry, and now we're gonna find out. Like,
I know, right? Like my children will go in there and there's shelves are stuffed. There's nothing to eat. I'm like, yeah. Oh, here come a whole bunch of comments now. All right.
Do you think society? What is that?
Do we think society will change forever? Acceptance from home for sure. Okay, so I was talking to my friend Shannon Mayer. My readers know that we're like besties before this, and we were talking about all the people that are just really hard up, and she's an empath too, so we're both like feeling bad. Like, how do we help them? And I said, I think this is going to show that a lot of people can work from home. Like, you could do school from home, you could do work from home, jobs that people didn't realize. But then again, there's things like service industry that they can't. And like, what do those people do? Like, are new jobs going to be created? Is this going to become like a new normal so that more people stay home? Because like, I'm hearing things of it's really not going to be safe to be out and in large crowds until there's a vaccine.
Right.
Which could be 18 months.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time. So I think it will. I think it's going to change society. Like maybe not drastically, but I think like one thing I don't understand is like, we've had like a pandemic response team, and I watched this when I heard about COVID-19 back in January, I watched some pandemic documentary on Netflix, and like there are people that are all the time watching for the next pandemic. And they had a pandemic response team that is no longer in place. That's neither here nor there at the moment. But
where did it go?
Did anybody ever give consideration to the economic consequences of this? Were there ever any plans in place to deal with this? I think this is something that people will actually now start to give thought to, because there's going to be another one, probably. I mean, they've been just kind of waiting for a big pandemic to come, honestly. Like the researchers in the documentary were like, we're due for another one. The Spanish flu was awful. If we have something that bad, it's going to be bad. And so I think that we're going to start giving a lot more thought into like how how our economy can survive if we have to do this again, especially if we have to live like this for over a year. I just can't even imagine. Like my brain doesn't even wrap around that. But what are all those people who don't have jobs? We've got to figure out something for them to do. So like I'm like personally trying to think of jobs.
Right. Well, that's it. I mean, today I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, so there are problems that need to be solved. Can we solve those problems from our couch,
Right.
using the internet? Like we have the most, powerful tool right now in front of us. Like what can we do? Like, and so I'm like already thinking like, how can we do this? Like what can happen? But I'm actually kind of freaked out by Mandy's comment. Do you see Mandy's comment here? Can you read that?
No.
It says, Mandy, my son's workplace had 50 staff sent home sick, but they're still open.
Oh no.
That is terrifying. And see, and that's the problem. Like, what the fuck, people?
Yeah. Yeah.
Closed. I get that you don't. I mean, and that's the thing. I get it. Like, these businesses will go out of business. I get it. But it's like you said about, the birthday. Like, you might not be here for your business, like, if you don't go home. So,
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you. I think more people figure out they can work from home. More people will figure out they can do something, maybe like follow their passion or their
Right.
idea that they've had. We're going to have a lot of free time now, so I think a lot of people are going to get real creative real fast, and we're going to see really interesting creativity come out of people.
And I think there's going to be a lot more need for delivery drivers because we're going to have things delivered to us now, and just social isolation. So, I can see that there's going to be a lot because Amazon, I read that Amazon was shutting down all like non-essential deliveries. They're focusing on medicine and things that people need. So like books, they're not sending out print books right now because they're non-essential. Yeah. Which makes sense. But like if they hired more people, I know. But most of my sales are ebooks, so we're fine. Although my daughter,
physical books.
and last night she says, "Hey mom, I never ordered my books that I need for my paper. Can we do that?" I'm like, "Oh honey, this is not so great because Amazon just announced they're not delivering books." But thankfully the books she wanted are old enough that we got them all from like third parties.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of comments about let's see, parents that want to come visit.
Yeah.
Teach life skills like home baking. That's a good idea.
Oh, that is a good idea. Although, okay, so this is one thing that we do. Like, we often have like a Sunday night dinner, and so the kids we all join together and cook and stuff. And so, this rom-com series I'm co-writing is about a brewery in Asheville, North Carolina. I don't know anything about making beer, so I had to Google things because my co-writer does, and I still wanted to know things. So then I'm like, hey, I think I want to make beer.
Of course you do.
So like I had my Amazon cart full of the stuff you need to make beer, and I'm like, God, that's so dumb. Like, what if I don't like it? And it's like $200 worth of stuff. Like, it's a lot of equipment, right? And so then my oldest son, who told me he made beer and it turned out terrible. I told him that, so we made croissants over Christmas, and we watched this Joshua Weissman. He has a YouTube video. He's a chef, I think. And we made croissants with him through this video, and they turned out amazing. And so I told Trace that Joshua Weissman has a beer making video to make a French Paulson, and he said it was really great for people who didn't like beer, which he does. Trace likes beer, but I'm more of a beer snob. Like, I prefer wine. So I said, I think I'm gonna try it. I think I'm gonna make it because it's not a kit. He like tells you all the grains to buy. So he's like, well, it's a business write-off because you're doing it.
Right.
So we have all the stuff. So this weekend we're gonna make beer. So
I hope you save me some, so when I see you in the summer, I can have a made beer.
Yeah, and also I found he also wants to make sourdough and have starters. So Joshua also has a recipe to make sourdough starter. Although we need rye flour and I can't find any. So.
No, my guess is though when you were out on the plains making sourdough, they didn't have rye flour either.
Right.
So
I've made sourdough before, and I don't think I used rye flour. So, yeah.
That sounds a little fancy. I think it'll be fine.
Well, Josh was a little fancy.
I gathered. I gathered that.
We're not making Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. We're making French Paulson.
That's right. That's right.
Tell them to use their school stomachs.
Right. That is a good one.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, Denise, we have talked for almost an hour now.
I know. For those of you who don't listen to our podcast, we usually try to keep it around 30 minutes. So, but this was a special episode. This is titled A Very Special Episode.
Live from quarantine. Well, we miss each other because what you guys don't understand is normally, like when I get to Denise's, we talk for half an hour before we start filming.
That's true. That's true.
So this way, we got it all in at once.
Yeah, we usually record like 4 or 5 episodes at one time. So, and then by the last one, we're not so chatty. So we've tried. Last time we tried, and we were much better about being chatty before.
Oh, good.
Usually each episode has a topic, and we chat a little bit, and then we like kind of segue into it. But like sometimes when we're on the last one, we're just like, "Hi, we're two midlife mamas." Okay, we're talking about
TikTok. We gotta go.
Yeah, because I gotta pick my daughter up from school. Jen's gotta get home for her kids, and
Yeah. So,
and
well.
we've been doing this for a while now, so we may be doing this live every time.
I think this will be our new normal for a little while, at least for a few weeks until we figure out what's happening. But so hopefully you'll tune in. Next time I'll have a better microphone.
Yeah.
And we'll get this all figured out. But we appreciate you guys coming for our first one and joining in, and joining the conversation, because that was the thing that was really cool about this, is that we were excited to like have you guys be able to talk with us.
Yeah, because usually we're just talking to each other, and now not only do we have readers, well, I always call them readers, sorry, people. Listeners.
Humans.
Like we actually got to interact while we were talking, so I really like that. That's what I love about live videos. So and also I was gonna add another thing, and I momentarily forgot what it was. We're facing the camera, because when we do the YouTube videos,
it's like that. Hi, everybody.
So now we're facing the camera. So you're welcome, the one person who watches on YouTube.
Hello. I mean, we even because this morning when we talked about doing this, neither one of us were like camera ready. And we even camera ready. I can't guarantee it will be like this next week.
No, I almost like my hair is. I should have washed my hair. I didn't have time, and so it's a hot mess. And I had it in this nasty, messy ponytail, and I was like, Jen's not gonna look trashy, so I'm not gonna look trashy either.
I could have if you'd said it this morning. I could have.
I'm even wearing pants. I almost wore my pajama pants with my shirt, but I put on leggings.
I do have pants on, but they're like yoga pants, so but they still count.
The usual uniform, yoga pants and a t-shirt.
Yeah. But yeah, next week we've always been saying we're gonna do it in jammies. Now we really can.
Hey, we keep saying we're gonna do a jammy episode. We totally should.
We should. Everyone can all be in their jammies, and we'll be in ours, and it'll be great. So. Messy ponytails everywhere. And then the other thing I was going to say, too, is that now that I have to be homebound, it'll be really easy to grow out my gray hair.
Yeah, I know. It's still looking good.
Thanks.
Yeah,
it's like, now, even if I get sick with it, I can't give it up. I'm going to come out of quarantine. I'm going to be a silver fox. So get ready, America. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave us a message if you want us to talk about something, because at this point, we have no idea what the fuck we're going to talk about next week. But, leave us a message, and please.
And let us know if you let us know if you like being part of our episode. So
right, or should we just record these and put them out later on, and you guys can watch them then? I don't know. Let us know. But thanks so much, and take care, and be safe, and be nice to each other. All right? I sound like freaking Ellen or something, but you know what I mean. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Denise here. I know you're sad because the podcast episode is over, and now you have to wait an entire week to hear us again. But guess what? You don't have to wait. You can listen to one of our audiobooks. Like to listen to true crime podcasts? I've got several mystery series to choose from. Or maybe you prefer to listen to podcasts about The Bachelor. check out one of my rom-com series. You can find these audiobooks and many more at Audible, Apple Audiobooks, or check out my website, denisegroverspank.com, and click on audiobooks in the menu at the top. Happy listening!